There comes a time in a person's life when they start asking deeper questions. Who am I? Why am I here? Why do some patterns keep repeating in my life? Why are some people more naturally in tune with their destiny while others seem to struggle to get direction? These people spend so many years seeking answers, moving from one religious belief to another, from one teaching to another, hoping that somewhere someone will finally be able to translate the mystery of their existence to them. Yet, many never consider an important possibility. What if the answer you seek began at home? What if the questions troubling you has already been answered by your ancestors centuries ago? Students of Ifa and Isheshe, you're welcome to class. Please step forward and take the front row. Welcome to Isheshe University, where we'll be breaking Isheshe down to you as simple as ABC. And yes, we have a writing board, we have markers, and we also have a board cleaner. Today, we'll be returning home to know why the answers we seek begin with our roots. Before modern schools, before social media, before many of the systems that we now rely on, our ancestors already studied nature, human behavior, community, birth, death, relationship between humans and the unseen world. From these observations, some systems were put in place to help us to remember and to also document history. Among the Yoruba people, one of the systems is what we call Ifa. Alongside Ifa, we also have the understanding of Orishas, not merely as objects of worship, but as forces, principles, and intelligence that help us in different aspects of our life. For us to understand this, we need to go back to the very beginning of time, when life itself was created. According to Ifa philosophy, Igba Irunmole òun lolódùmarè dá, which means that Olodumare created 200 Irunmoles to be the guardians and custodians of life as we see it and know it now. This means that 200 team members were created by Olodumare. They are direct creation of the Olodumare. They do not have the pregnancy to birth process. So they are creations, you understand, which gives them extraordinary capabilities to do extraordinary things, not as mere mortals, not as humans. One of the Irunmoles was given the power or the duty to create humans, to mold humans from clay. Humans were made, and the Irunmoles started teaching them different things: technology, civilization, justice, honesty, hygiene, beauty, taught them everything that we now use to this day to live life as we know it. Now that we understand that part, we also need to know that the Irunmoles also lived amongst us as humans. They married, they reproduced, and so many of us are direct bloodline of all these different Irunmoles, these different Orishas, which means that even without trying, we are already exhibiting the traits of the Irunmoles. However, our history was lost, not because we wanted it so, but because along the line there was a disconnection. There was also a change in what was true and what was the lie. Many of our ancestors gave up their origin willingly, but many were forced to give up their identity, not because they wanted to, but because they were enslaved, they were tortured, they were killed, they were kidnapped, they were mutilated. Millions of souls were sacrificed just to uphold a truth that is actually the lie. Now, what is now happening with many of us is our bloodline remembers who we are. We do this sometimes without even realizing. You give birth to a child, and you see this child just naturally, molding things with their hands, even without even learning it anywhere. Naturally exhibiting the traits of Obatala. We see a child, like a toddler, you know, wanting to, be beautiful, having natural motherly instinct, wanting to care, wanting to nurture, naturally exhibiting the traits of Oshun. We also see some children, they are very fierce. They are ready to stand. They are ready to fight. They are very powerful. They are very energetic. They are exhibiting the traits of Ogun, Shango, naturally without anyone teaching them. This is what bloodline means. But many of us have stopped searching for answers within ourselves. We've stopped going home to know the truth about our origin. Many of us now look away to foreign knowledge. We start seeking clarity from foreign lands, forgetting who we are. And from there, there's a disconnection, which is currently ruining our country, our world, our nation, and even us. It is starting to destroy us. And that is the reason why many of us are now here looking for answers. We don't understand how we feel. We don't understand the reason why things are not going the way they're supposed to go. We are confused. What do we do? Now, this is not a call for you to reject your own personal religion or philosophies. Every people have wisdom. Every religion contains its own truth. The issue is about you not forgetting your home. A person who knows the history of distant nations but knows nothing about their own roots is like a traveler carrying a map of the world but no map of home. How can you fully understand where you are going if you don't understand where you are coming from? When people speak about returning to the Orishas, they immediately think it's about rituals, ceremonies, worship. No, it's about understanding your personality. Every Orisha has their personality, and many of us, we exhibit these personalities naturally. This is because, like I said, we are from the direct bloodline of these Orishas. Let me use myself as a very good example. I am first the daughter of Obatala, which is the reason why I wear white. Now, let's just talk about the personality of Obatala. Like I have said in many of my classes, Obatala is the Irunmole that guides justice, also guides the creation of humans. Obatala is the Irunmole that guides purity, unity, honesty. How do I exhibit that trait as a person? For those that know my story and the reason why I am here talking to you today, which is actually a very big privilege for me, is because I was fighting for justice. For the point where I was fighting for justice, my calling came. This justice I was fighting for was not even for myself, it was for others. I was at that time exhibiting the traits of Obatala even without knowing anything about Osha at the time. I stand by honesty. I am the type that even with a gun to my head, I will tell you the truth. It's either you care to listen or you don't. These are natural ways that I exhibit the traits of Obatala. Now, on my neck, you will see the symbol of Orunmila. Orunmila is the Irunmole that guides wisdom, knowledge, that keeps the archive of history so that we can continue to tap into that well of knowledge. With all humility, I can say that I am someone that I'm able to, to seek knowledge and to be able to also pass that knowledge on. I always seek clarity. I always seek to know. I always seek to read. You understand? And these are ways that I naturally exhibit the traits of Orunmila. Orunmila is the father of Ifa. Now, one of my symbols again is Oshun. How do I exhibit the traits of Oshun? As a person, I am very caring. I love to nurture. I love to grow. I love to, see people happy. I love children. I love to make sure that everyone is healthy, everyone is well taken care of, everybody around me are always happy. Because I am a natural mother. I naturally exhibit motherly instincts. So I am exhibiting the traits of Oshun even without, trying. It is just a part of me. And that is for us to now look within. And then we'll now see that, oh, This person is very natural at creating things with their hands, just like I do. I like to mold, I like to beautify, I like to create things, you understand? Still exhibiting the traits of Obatala, who is my guiding Irunmole. So when we see it this way, we know that it is not about us doing ceremonies. It's not about us doing rituals. No, it is about us understanding our personality. It's about us knowing the way we are as we are. So when we know the way we are, once we are able to understand our personality, then we are able to know that this Orisha eh, is the one that I am exhibiting. You will now be able to know their highs, their lows, their good side and their bad side. For example, Obatala drank too much palm wine and ended up making mistakes. How does this affect me as a person? I cannot drink alcohol. I get tipsy pretty fast. From a cup, just a little cup, I'm already tipsy. You understand? So alcohol is not something that blends with me. Anytime I take too much alcohol, I start making mistakes. I start misbehaving. How am I exhibiting some of the traits of Oshun, especially the not so perfect side? Oshun is one deity that sometimes falls in love with people that she cannot have. And over the course of my life, I have also exhibited this trait. I have fallen in love with men that, I could not really have. And I had my heart broken. But the thing about Oshun is that she's going to fall in love again. So will I fall in love again? Definitely. So this is how you are able to then know, you understand, this Osha, this is how I'm exhibiting this person, this Osha straight. Oh, these are my own flaws. Oh, these are my own eyes. And that is how we now was start arranging ourselves. First by personality. Now, when we understand the personality, we now look at their works. Children of Obatala must always be in the position of creation, which means we are not always going to be very good with 9 to 5 jobs. We would prefer to start our own businesses, we prefer to do our own things, which means we're going to be grounded in our own way, creating, you understand, and then we'll also make good judges. When people come to tell us this is the case, we are almost in a position where we are looking at each other very well that this is the person that is at fault. You are the thief. Give this back to the person. Now, if you say that where you are Omo Ogun, it means that you are very powerful. If there is a place that we need development, one thing that we will need is iron, metal. We will need tractors, we will need cutlasses, we will need hoes to first what? Clear that place. Ogun ló máa ń la ọ̀nà while the rest follows. So you people are the ones that have the power. You are able to use metal to, clear the road, lay it. You understand? Put effort, the right efforts that are needed. Because anywhere that needs, to be cleared needs metal. So Ogun is the Irunmole that guides iron. Now, power. Children of Ogun are always very, like they're always very physical. Nation gone, they are always very strong. You understand? And children start exhibiting their this child, calm down, you are too energetic. You understand? So that is for Ogun. However, when it comes to place of justice, I will not advise that you put children of Ogun because what Omaninu Fufu, they always get angry. You understand? So when you now know the Orisha, you know their work, then you'll be able to understand that, oh, okay, about um this is not about worship or sacrifice or rituals. No, it's about what first? Your own personality, understanding yourself. Now, when you understand yourself, you will now look inwards like, oh, what are the things that I am naturally drawn to as a person? What are the things that I like to do as a person? You understand? I'm not someone that like physical work. I'm not someone that maybe you've been sitting and looking like, and I really love to know how to grade roads. I would really love to know how to, build skyscrapers. If these thoughts come to you naturally, you are already exhibiting the traits of your father, Ogun. It is in your bloodline. There's nothing you can do about it. However, due to all the forces that have been leveled against us from education, which we'll talk about the how the especially the Nigerian school system is destroying us more than raising us. We will talk about that at a later time. But all the forces that actually been put in place just to disconnect us from our roots, and it started from home, then from our school system. You understand? So that's the reason why you don't even know yourself. That's the reason why you are feeling like, what do I want to do with my life? What talents do I have? This is because you are not tapping into your roots. And your roots is where? Back home. So this has been a long class, but however, I would like you to know that I am not a content creator. I am a teacher, a lecturer, which means that some of my classes might be a bit lengthy, especially when we have to do so much work to try and clean a misconception, a demon that has been going on for thousands of years, even before we were born. I will be stopping here for today. However, you have an assignment. This is actually a very peculiar assignment, and I want you to take it very seriously. There's a particular song I want you to go and listen to. It is called Ire by Adekunle Gold. You will go and listen to that song. Ire by Adekunle Gold. Ire, 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 ayo, ó ń pè mí o. Now, from everything that you are learning about Isheshe, listen to that song again. Watch the video again. Watch the symbolisms again. You know how, you will start following, once you are listening to the song with meaning, and you're also following the video, you will see some things that relates with our topic today, which is what? Going back home to seek answers. My name is Yanifa Iwapele Ogundari Oluwashon Janet. I am a lecturer for today, and I'm very happy that you have attended class. I hope to see you in the next class, where we'll be delving deeper into ways that we can realign with our destiny. Thank you very much for coming to class, and have a beautiful evening. Area your new Ashe.